Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Justin Pate from the Wrap Institute, and what we're going to be doing throughout the next 4 days of the show is we're going to be doing demonstrations here while they do the wrap competition. So if you want to get some great information, and we're going to be doing lots of demonstrations about commercial, color change, PPF, definitely come on over and check these out, and we're actually recording them as well for the Wrap Institute. So this demo that I'm about to do now is I'm going to be talking about the tools that we use. Danielle picked up a very good tool, but you can play with that. What's interesting about the wrap industry today for me personally is how the tools have changed over for me, when I used to wrap, I used to have a 3M gold squeegee. I had a cheap knife from the Chinese hardware store, and I had a propane torch. And those were my tools, and that's what I wrapped 2,000 cars with. But the industry has evolved over the years, and what I want to do in this demo is show you the tools that I like to use, and maybe you'd be inspired to use them as well. So basically I want to start off with what is interesting is I do take a lot of hardware. So when I take a lot of hardware off the car, I use sets like this. So this is actually a really cool set. This comes from a German company, and just this alone will allow me to basically take anything off the car. I can take door handles off, I can take bolts, I can take lights and stuff like that. So I spend a lot of money for this, but again, for me, one set, I can pretty much take everything off the car, which is pretty cool. So you do want to take off bits and pieces. You take off bits and pieces, okay? This allows me to wrap deeper inside the car. Also, what has changed a lot when I wrap cars is actually I use stuff like this, like chenille mitts. So oftentimes I'll get the car super wet for like PPF, and you definitely want a chenille mitt that doesn't scratch and it really absorbs. So I'm using a lot of tools that cross over from other industries like PPF, color change. What I also do, which is interesting, is I used to use paper towels, but now I'm using high-grade microfiber towels. And high-grade microfiber towels are great because they absorb better and they don't scratch and they last a long time. And I color coat my towels. So I have one, let's say, for cleaning, one for degreasing, and I don't mix and match them. So I'm really precise about my towels. And the biggest one, I think, for me is having a clay bar towel or a clay bar mitt. So what I like about these right now is this allows me to kind of get the specs off the car, which I'm going to show in a second. So I really want to make sure I get those bits off the car, which is very important. And what was also very important is when I scrape the adhesive off the car, you want to use the right plastic. There's different ones out there that are good for scraping, but they might catch water-based paint. This one is developed by Yellow Tools, and this is specifically made for not scratching water-based paint. So you could use a scraper and scratch the car, but if you use the right scraper, you don't scratch the car, so you get the benefits of that. What I also like to use, and this is really interesting, this is an amazing towel. This comes from the Rag Company. So if I have a wet car from the rain or anything like that, this is an incredibly absorbent towel, so this actually dries the car very quickly. So you can tell that even just with the towels, I've changed my game a lot. And what's also where I've changed my game is here. I use spray bottles like this. This comes from a company in Spain called Icon. Okay, Icon's a great company, where now I can spray at different angles. So I can spray at 360, I can spray upside down, which is great, which is cool, which gives me options. And what I used to clean cars is with this, baby shampoo. So baby shampoo is okay for cleaning. You know, it cleans your baby, cleans the car too, that's decent. But for cleaning cars right now, what I clean cars with is stuff like this, Rinseless Wash. So this is called Absolute, it's really good. And so now instead of putting baby shampoo in the water, what I'm going to do is just put a little bit. And what's cool about rinseless washes is I only need just a little bit. So you can see just how little amount, that's all I have to put in the spray bottle. And then that will actually clean the car perfectly, much better than shampoo. And now I got a great sprayer that I can spray upside down. So once I get that going, I can kind of turn it. I can spray at this angle, I can spray at this angle, and I got the right soap and water, which is great. And Icon actually has a pressurized sprayer as well. So these are the tools that I use for prepping the car. So prepping the car is really important. But now let's get to wrapping, and what tools do I use differently for wrapping? Well, for me, we just came out with this squeegee now. This is what we call Institute Platinum Squeegee. And for me, this is the ultimate all-round squeegee. It has the right perfect shore that I can wrap. Yesterday I wrapped walls as part of the thing. I wrapped part of the floors, but I can also wrap cars with this. This has a 190-degree corner, which is great for tucking, and then 3 rounded corners, and I can hold it really good, plus it's super light. So I love this squeegee, and I mix and match it up with the right buffers. I personally like monkey strips, and I also like banana buffers. And both of these buffers can be used wet or dry, and they're super high quality. So I always put a brand new buffer on for every wrap. So I got my squeegee, which is cool. I also have this glove. This glove is made by Yellow Tools, and what's great about this glove is it slides and glides without soap and water, which is nice. Plus, what's cool about it is it's cut resistant. So there's no chance of me cutting myself while I'm wrapping. Plus, I get the benefit of the slide, which is really nice. What else do I have? I use a lot of knifeless tape. I use knifeless tape a lot of times for not taking the hardware off. So I'll show this a little bit later. What I also have is tools like this. The Plek from Yellow Tools. This is a great tucking tool. And this is our newest tool, and this is super popular. It's called the Wrap Axe. And I like to show this later when we do some demonstrations. I use this for tucking the material, but I also use this as my knife. So this is my knife now where I can actually cut the material on the car, and I use plastic, which means there's no chance of cutting the car. So this is a super advanced tool. What I also do is I like to use a knife like this. So this is a great knife that comes from NT Cutter. It's what's called a multi-cartridge knife. And what I can do is I have multiple blades in here, so I always have a fresh blade. So you always want that. And then this is a new knife that we're using on the Wrap Institute. This is what's called the Ninja knife. It's a very good name. And what it is you can see that the width of the blade is basically half the width of this knife, which means that this is super light. So when I want to cut directly on the body, I'll use this knife versus this knife. So I mix and match my knives like that. So in a way, my knives have changed. This is how I see my knives now. I have the Wrap Axe, I have the NT Cutter knife, and I have the Ninja knife. So for me, this is a great arsenal in terms of how I want to cut on the car, which is cool. Now, oftentimes, I don't know about you, but I used to use a lot of magnets. And when I wrap cars, if I want to set a panel on the hood, which I'll do later, I can put 2 magnets there and flip the panel. And that's pretty good, okay? But the problem with these magnets is they leave an impression on the vinyl. And if it leaves an impression on the vinyl, you can see 6 circles. I don't like that. So what I have now is this, okay? So this is a tool that we're selling in America right now under the Wrap Institute name. It's what we call the TWI Platinum Magnet. And what this is a magnet pad, which is cool. So I can use it for locking the panel in place, but once I feel like the panel is properly in place, I can unfold it now and I lay it on the surface, and I guarantee you there's no way that panel's shifting. So this gets me super precise, but what I like about it now is it evenly distributes the tension, so there's no chance of getting an impression from the vinyl. So once I'm done, I just simply pick it back up and I put it on my cart. So this is a game changer. It's really cool. So this is again something we're selling in America for PPF. Anyone out there who does PPF right now, this is a solution my partner Reiner developed. This is what's called APE solution. One is for foam and one is just a regular solution. This is a special soap that's made here in Germany, specifically, also through Yellow Tools. And what we do now is we either put them in a hand sprayer, which is cool, and then this is a sprayer that we like a lot. This is from Icon, right? And what's particularly cool about this sprayer right now is instead of having to pump it all the time and do this right now, I'm gonna get it down nice and close right there to lock it. So once I lock it to, maybe there, cool. If I lock it here, instead of pumping it all the time to get pressurized right now, what's cool about this is I can just press the button and it charges by itself by a battery. So I always have a charged PPF sprayer, which is great. And I got this cord in the sprayer, so now I got a fully charged thing that keeps me flowing and going, which is cool. So this is good for PPF. I also use tools like this. All right, Wrap UEZ is very good for mirrors, awesome. And I also have a heat gun. This is a heat gun that Weldy makes specifically for the Wrap Institute, which is cool. This comes with a heat protector at the front, vents on the side, and a 5-meter cable, which is great. And then the last couple things I want to show, if you guys want to come on over here, okay, is I have cool demonstrations on why you want to get good prep. So right now, for example, let's talk about prep. So if I come here now, I'm just going to slide this in, okay? Let's say earlier I clean this hood, and I take my squeegee right now, I take the material off, I lay it on the hood, and then I grab a squeegee and a buffer. Actually, I'll just take a squeegee right now. And let's say right now, okay, I'm going to take the material and I'm going to squeegee it on the hood. So I pick it up, squeegee it down here, and everything's going in terms of squeegee right now. I feel pretty good about it. But if you guys can come in and get pretty close, what I don't like about it right now is I see tiny little specks on the hood. Even though I cleaned with a degreaser right now, there's specks in the hood that I couldn't get off with my elbow grease. Why is that? Because I didn't use a clay bar. So watch what I do. So I want you to appreciate
4,
3.
3, 2, 1, pull down.
Cool. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to spray this with the absolute rinseless wash, right? So I spray this across the hood, and I want you to appreciate how long it takes just to clay bar a hood now, which is not much time. So I'm going to take this clay bar towel, and again, this comes from the detailing world, and this is kind of the point of my demonstration right now today, is there's a lot of tools that I'm taking from people who do detailing, PPF, paint correction, all that kind of stuff. So as long as I just do something like this now, and I come back in with the right microfiber towel, now I clean it, and I wipe it down, and in just a matter of 1 minute now this, I could feel it. The hood is like a totally different hood because I used a microfiber towel, which is pretty cool. Awesome, all right? Now here's, for me, the pinnacle of this presentation is this, okay? How many of you out there have worked with material that's super aggressive where it sticks on the hood? Has anyone dealt with that? Super frustrating, right? So for example, right here, this is a great film on the market, and this is one of our sponsors. This is a company called FlexiShield, right? So FlexiShield, this is the first dry apply PPF. Dry apply color PPF. It's pretty cool. So watch what I do. If I want to wrap this as a solo installer right now and I stick it on the hood, this is pretty aggressive, okay? So the thing is, I can figure out how to wrap with this, but as a solo installer, especially on a hood, it can be hard. Doesn't mean the material's bad, it just means I have to change my game. Also, how many of you installers out there have worked with material where you went to squeegee and you scratched it? I've scratched material before, it's pretty frustrating, okay? And then how many of you had a customer who had a wrap on the car and they didn't take care of it and it got old pretty quick? It happens. So what we did at the Wrap Institute is we developed a product. This is coming out in Europe soon. Spandex is going to pick this up. Other companies are going to pick this up. This is called S. This is developed by the Wrap Institute, myself and Reiner. And what it stands for is slip, slide, and shine. All right, so watch. Right here on the hood, you guys saw how tacky that was earlier, right? So when I clean the hood, get it earlier, I clay bar it, get it ready. I'm going to take S now and I'm going to spray it on the hood. And all I'm going to do right now is I'm going to lightly wipe it onto the car and just let it sit. So I'm not wiping, polishing it off. So what we did is we intentionally made it so it dried right away. So I don't have to wait for it, but now watch. Now I take the FlexiShield, remember earlier it stuck? Now it slides much easier. So now I can wrap it, and now I can wrap it as a solo installer and I can get it in the right position. I can move it here. Now I get it to here, it slides nice and good. Once I'm to here, I'm cool. So once I go to squeegee now, watch. Instead of squeegeeing like this now, what I can do is I can spray surface now. So the other one was the slip for the material. Now I can take my squeegee now, and I can slide it forth to here. I can get it on the surface, pick it up, and now the S is allowing my squeegee now to slide across the surface now, and I could wrap it without scratching the film. Pretty cool. So now it lowers the tension of the surface, it lowers the tension of my squeegee, and at the end of the day, I take S again and I put it on a high quality microfiber towel and I buff it onto the surface. And this was again developed by a company called P&S. They're based in America. This lasts 6 months on the wrap. So whether it's matte, satin, or gloss, now the customer has 6 months protection on top of the wrap. So this is the first ever product that allows the material to slide, your squeegee to slide, and it gets 6 months protection on top of the wrap. Plus it smells really good. So if you guys want to try S today, feel free. Okay, we only have a few bottles in the booth because it just came out. But now, as you can see, my tools have changed. I have a lot of PPF tools, I have a lot of detailing tools, and now I can get wraps, even as a solo installer, super easy. I got the great squeegee, I got the great knife. So this is, for me, as the Wrap Institute, we're constantly changing. Our slogan is never stop learning. And so this is a very good example of just within the tools, even in the last 3 or 4 years, my tools have changed because the industry has changed. So what I'm going to do now is take a quick little break, and I have Reiner Lawrence, my partner, in here. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a presentation on what we call same but different. And we're going to break down each material kind of scientifically of how to apply the film so you understand how to do it. And then we'll do demos of wrapping the bumper and wrapping the hood. So if you guys are watching the show, feel free to please take care of our part of the contest. We have the Wrap Warrior contest over there. We have the Connect the Dots with 3M. And at the end of the day at 4:45, we're going to have a speed wrap on this car. And it's at 4:45, and it's going to feature Kiss and Ivan and myself and Reiner. And the person who can guess how long it takes us to wrap this car, they'll win a prize, a full toolkit from 3M. So thank you all for watching, and we'll do our next demo in about 15 minutes. Cheers, everyone. Thank you.